This is your second video confessional. And tonight we're going to be playing another famous game show, the Newlywed Game. Cue fabulous music. Hope that video is looking okay. So what I want to talk about is what the couples and triples and what does it look like in this game, the relationships. And nothing's worse than getting it wrong. And so what's really funny is, since you know everybody's real relationships, because you can read everything, how much am I going to be this guy beating myself because I don't have anything at all right? But I want to talk both about cross-tribe and inter-tribe, whichever one. We'll talk about incest, and then we'll talk about real relationships. So, first of all, I want to talk about the Chianti tribe, and it's pretty obvious for my confessionals that I believe that Hannibal is the ringleader, and he's got Ghostface and Jason. I think they're a pretty tight three. Ghostface was relatively quiet for a while, but he started to reach out a little more. Jason is reaching out quite a bit. In fact, I talked to Jason more than I talked to Hannibal, which is interesting because Jason might have been the very last person in the game that I talked to. So it shows, again, that it's quality over quantity. It doesn't matter how often you talk to them and how early. But these three on Chianti are definitely leading the charge. I think the villains are going to be a little bit more devious, and I think that the fact that they're all reaching out to people is pretty indicative of the fact that they're trying to really protect themselves down the road. Those three don't really talk about each other, so I think they also have made a concentrated effort to not give away their true relationships, which means those three villains are the shadiest of the shady. It happens that I really like Hannibal a lot, and I kind of like Jason. I haven't talked to Ghostface enough to really know whether I like him or not. I think he's just doing what he's supposed to do. So that's Chianti. Next up, I want to talk about Indy's Forbidden Love. And when you look at Indiana Jones, interestingly enough, it's the Star Wars Alliance because you have Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill. But it was pretty obvious yesterday after Indy talked to Luke about the notion that we could merge into all heroes and all villains. Immediately, Luke messaged me. They both confessed that they were talking to each other. I think that Luke and Indy get along really well, which, if that is correct, creates a very interesting dynamic that I cannot let Indy get voted out because I misled Luke into thinking that I just think Indy rocks my world. That's not true. I think Rocky and Inigo and actually Mr. Miyagi rock my world. If I could vote out anyone that I wanted, it would be Indy because I think he's the least active. But if Indy really is tight with Luke, if I voted Indy out, that makes my path to Luke go away. So I can't really tell Rocky that. I have to be very careful with how much I tell people about how much I'm talking to others because I need to continue to be unassuming. But it's important to note that the connection that exists here. So let's talk about the Skywalker clan. And I think it's pretty obvious there's a threesome there. They've kind of, Luke actually told me this, and I think that the others have kind of said it as well. And that's Luke and Bastion and Superman. They're clearly a threesome. They got rid of Jack because they were annoyed by him, and Luke even told me, we don't want Jack to come back. And then at Tribal Council, they vote out Marty because he just disappeared at Tribal Council and didn't message anybody. So they switch it up last minute. So Jack has to know he's on the outs, and then they got rid of Marty. So there's no doubt there's a threesome here. I think Luke is the ringleader. I think Luke is probably the savviest of the bunch. I did talk to Superman quite a bit, and I think we laid the groundwork. I should probably talk to him again tonight, but we laid the groundwork to really talk to each other, and nobody ever know that the two of us talk together. So I'll have to keep pushing that because that could be a nice ace in the hole. But there's one of those three that's important to me, and I'll get back to it later, Nambla. So next up, I don't know what this slide is. Oh, this is the amazing Rocky. I'm sorry, not Rocky. The one I'm confused by. Every time I talk to him, I think he's somebody else. I meant Rocky. I mean, wait a minute. No, that's not Rocky either. That's Rambo. So I meant Rocky. So Rocky has an alliance with, I'm wondering who, and in order to help me get to who it is that he has an alliance with, we're going to actually play another game show. You might remember this one, Tic-Tac-Doe. We're going to play Tic-Tac-Doe right now to figure out who Rocky might really be closest to. So we've got 9 villains here because Rocky clearly talks more to the villains than he does to the heroes. So it's not Leatherface, I'm pretty sure. But he does talk to Ghostface, I think. I don't know who that is. But he's not. That villain's not even in the game. It could be Stuck. So I'm gonna back up. Oh, that's the little saw pig. That's you. He's not in alliance with you. So it could be Michael Myers. He's a villain. It could be Michael. I actually like Michael a lot. But it's not whoever that is. It could be Hannibal. Could be Hannibal. We know how Hannibal's trying to talk to everybody. Not that guy. But you know what? I really think it's Jason. Because Jason tried to steer me onto Rocky. As Rocky's a good guy. Now, Hannibal kind of supported that as well. So I think that Jason is certainly connected to Rocky. So it's important to keep that in mind as you get these alliances going. You need to not only keep your allies together, but you need to make sure that you think about their alliances as well if you want to continue to have pathways. Because not only would I lose something if I got rid of Rocky, but I'd lose an avenue to Jason. So I'm going to have to decide who it is that I want to be with and who I don't. But not just that, but who else are they connected to. So it's time to talk about my dirty little secret. And it's my affection for young animals. Not little boys. That's gross. That's disgusting. But Bastian and I have been talking a lot, and clearly we both like our little doggy animal critters. But yeah, I think that Bastian is someone that I really could work with. He seems like a good guy, whereas I like Hannibal, I like Jason, I actually like Clubber a little bit. We'll get to him. I think that Bastian's much more open and sincere about potentially wanting to really work together, and the others really are playing games. So my dirty little secret is Bastian is who I think is my ace in the hole. So that leads us to Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai, their alliance is, I have no frickin' idea. Jaws and Darth, and they're so quiet. Darth, I heard, was really active on Thursday, but I haven't heard from him. Jaws, I don't even know. I don't know what the dynamic of Cobra Kai is at all. I could care less because I don't think that anybody I talk to talks to them. Right now, they're the mystery in my book. But when we look at the Stallions, this is where I think I've put it in my confessional that I'm really trying to position myself as the middle. And I've tried to create 3 different 3-way alliances. Obviously, the Indy, Inigo, and Navin alliance was built first. But Rocky is such a good person to talk to, a very good connection. And so I think Inigo, Rocky, and I have put together a potential threesome there as well. Now, I know that Miyagi has talked to a lot of people on the other tribes, but not so much to Inigo and Indy, which is why they wanted him out. So I think Rocky and Miyagi and I have an avenue to be another threesome. So I've pivoted myself so that I should be able to be in any number of a group of 3s on my tribe, hopefully maintaining some safety. The problem is if they start to talk to each other. The only way that happens with all the stunts Miyagi is pulling is if Rocky, Indy, and Inigo try and pull something together and leave me out. Inigo is very, very watchful of people that are overly strategic, so I'm really trying not to be. I just try and be helpful, and I try and tell him stuff and look incredibly stupid so that he thinks he can just control me. With Rocky, I know he likes to talk a little more about that, but I want him to be more of the strategist, and I want him to tell me who to talk to. But we're a little more equal, Rocky and I, and I think that he likes me better than he likes the others, certainly Indy, because I think Rocky would like Indy out because Indy really is not very active. So that's the Stallions. So It would be amiss if I didn't also talk about the alliance that Clubber has clearly put together. Um, so Clubber is another one that I didn't talk to a whole lot early on in the game, but it's pretty obvious who he's put an alliance together with, and it's freaking everybody. He's got an orgy going on with everybody. Everybody gets a message at least once a day. He's clearly trying to play everyone by talking to them. The thing is, we all know that he talks to all of us, and the fact that he never lets his character down is insane. The difference between someone like him and a Miyagi is Miyagi seems to actually say something game related. I guess he's just very zen. He's really gotten his character well. But Clubber just, yo, dog, I don't know. It's like I'm on American Idol and whatever is judging me. So you can't really trust Clubber because he just wants avenues to everybody, and I don't feel like there's any sincerity in it with anyone. So we'll see how much I was right about what I had in here. So have a great evening, and we'll see you later this week with another game show. See ya.
You give me confidence in myself. I know we've only known each other for 4 weeks and 3 days, but to me, it seems like 9 weeks and 5 days. The first day seemed like a week, and the second day seemed like 5 days, and the third day seemed like a week again, and the fourth day seemed like 8 days. But the fifth day, you went to see your mother, and that seemed just like a day. But then you came back, and then later, on the sixth day in the evening when we saw each other, that started seeming like 2 days. So in the evening it seemed like 2 days spilling over into the next day, and that started seeming like 4 days. So at the end of the sixth day, on into the seventh day, it seemed like a total of 5 days. And the sixth day seemed like a week and a half. I have it written down, but I can show it to you tomorrow if you want.